Hello everybody, I'm Maury. It has been way too long since the last video. I originally recorded this back in April, and it has taken me until the beginning of July to record the audio and to do the editing and all that. My schedule has been a train wreck and just things not working. But it's done now, so there you go. This is the Chapter 4 title page of my series Pine Barrens Supernatural. And so I'm going to take this video actually to just talk a little bit about what that series is, or has been. It's actually the series I originally started my sophomore year of high school. And I ended up writing it for about 3.5 years. Every year I was able to produce about more than 16 chapters, depending on the year. But I was averaging between 1 chapter a month to 2 chapters a week, depending on the season. Like in the summer, I could do 2 chapters a week. It was intense and wonderful and fun and a whirlwind of emotions. My friends at the high school, as well as my family, were all the readers. They were my audience, and so I ended up incorporating a lot of inside jokes and things just very specific to the high school I went to. So when about a year ago I picked up all my binders of the original and I reread it, I loved it all over again and decided, well, I've got to be making this again. I've got to reboot it because I love these characters too much to just let them die on my shelf. But I realized there's a lot of stuff that needed to be edited out. So many of the inside jokes are edited out. The instances of teachers from my old high school are edited out, etc., etc. I also, when I was originally writing the series, I had no idea what I wanted to do with it, where I wanted it to go. So in the beginning, I just introduced all of these random concepts, which I've now kind of gotten rid of those in the writing, so it's not as confusing, because I know where I'm going to take it towards the end of the series. But as the title says, Pine Barrens Supernatural, it takes place in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey and incorporates a lot of the folklore from down there, including but not limited to the Jersey Devil, where the Jersey Devil is actually the father of one of the main characters. The main character, being actually Lily, who's the one facing away on this chapter title page, has moved to the Pine Barrens with her dad after an incident that happened. And I'm not giving it away because in the beginning it's not really described. But eventually you do find out what happened. So that's another reason why I'm not saying anything. But she gets there and she starts learning about the Jersey Devil and just that there's monsters apparently here. But, that's just an urban legend, quote unquote. But then that first night that she's sleeping there, she ends up attacked and rescued by different monsters. So it ends up being about a lot of just supernatural nonsense, but also comedy and slice of life. The one who's facing the camera is Erica/Eric, whichever. And Eric shows up in chapter 1 because she knows that this house that's been basically abandoned for the past several years, clearly people are moving into it and she needs to know what's up. So she goes and she confronts them and finds out what's going on, and then she helps them with moving for the first few chapters, including this one. This chapter, originally, Eric was helping Lily with unpacking a lot of clothes and stuff and figuring out sort of that, what do you wear on your debut to a new high school? But I kind of ended up deciding that I thought that was a little too intimate for them only knowing each other for about less than 2 days. So that was taken out, but there's still a reference to it in this chapter title page of them playing around with clothing. The little stuffed animal I drew at Lily's feet is known as Mascot because I am super creative with names. By super creative, I mean I'm really bad at it. And it is basically the chibi version of the creature that saved her that first night. And it is on pretty much everything. I actually have to say, one of my friends who really liked the series crocheted me a Mascot doll, and I love it completely. It is sitting next to me on my desk right now. I want more mascots everywhere. They're so wonderful. Anyway, so the series, genre-wise, I guess I should probably talk about it a little bit. I consider it a comedy slash slice of life, but it is also, I've also been told it is also a action series. It's also a romance series because there is romance in it. There is action in it because there are battle sequences, especially in the beginning. But after Lily kind of settles in, moves in, or gets comfortable with her new life, there aren't as many action sequences. Just out of the concept of the supernatural beings in the Pine Barrens become accustomed to her being there. There's sort of a folk tale, however you want to put it, that in the beginning of you moving into the Pine Barrens, creatures will come and see who you are to try and figure out, well, who are you, what are you, etc. So in the beginning, there's a lot more let's see. I don't want to talk about too many characters in it because they're not on screen and I don't want to spoil things for anyone who does want to read it. But like I said, the Jersey Devil is in it. His son is a main character. Eventually there will be other supernatural beings that get introduced that are potentially Sasquatch, werewolf, vampire, you know, the cliche things. Probably gonna have a witch or two, because those are fun. But it's just supernatural shenanigans. Also, cat things. There's a cat boy. Okay? Basically. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna end this video. So, later.